Let's do it. We all set? Oh, where's my paper? The time is 6:30 p.m. We'd like to call this regular Board of Education meeting to order. I know that we have a lot of guests this evening, so I'll give everyone a chance to take their seats before we get started. All right, sure. The first item on our agenda for this evening is the call to order, which was done, and the roll call of those Board of Education members who are present. Trustee Goodrich, could you perform the roll call this evening?
Certainly, Madam President. Trustee Townsend. Here. Trustee Schindler.
Here.
Trustee Fields.
Here.
Trustee Gainsley. Here. Trustee Goodrich, I am here. Vice President Lee. Here. President Hawkins.
Here. All Board of Education members are present. Next, that takes us to the Pledge of Allegiance. And at this time, I would like to invite the public and everyone present to join us in reciting of the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, hear her very well. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of the agenda. Is there a motion to accept the amended agenda as presented?
Madam President, Vice President Lee, move that the Board of Education accept the amended agenda as presented.
Thank you. A motion was made by Vice President Lee. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Schindler, support.
Supported by trustee Schindler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to achievements, awards, and recognition. And we have a couple of them this evening. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you so much, Madam President. We're just so excited today to have, that's why we have so many people here to support us and to gather in this celebration, to welcome Michael Noss here from Cognia. He will be sharing, and Julie is going to take up his information, sharing at the podium about the Cognia review and the results and how we ended up being here today. Welcome to you, Mr. Noss.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure it is to be here and just sharing in this celebration with Ypsilanti Community Schools. My name is Michael Noss, and I am the State Director of Cognia, which is the largest educational credit agency in the world, servicing about 36,000 institutions across the globe. The accreditation journey for Ypsilanti Community Schools started back in 2012. And in that time, it is amazing to see the growth that this district has had in supporting their community and their students in achieving just substantial excellence in learning. This past year, there were over 1,500 reviews that were conducted across the United States, Puerto Rico, and 90 countries across the world. And out of those 1,500, our Cognia Board of Commissioners is acknowledging 38 systems of distinction. And this year, I'm pleased to announce that Ypsilanti Community Schools is one of those districts of distinction. The thing that makes me very happy is that not every district or not every school and not every state in our country has systems of distinction. And Michigan is not only thrilled to have one system, but we also have one high school that we'll be acknowledging later in this fall too. So I just want to say congratulations to you all for the spectacular work that you're doing in support of the students in your community and making a difference for all of these students who come in the door each and every day. So congratulations to you, Dr. Zachary, and the entire Ypsilanti team. I look forward to seeing that in the hallway out with your other. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. This is such an honor. I know that coming to present this award is not only rewarding, but it means that it's taking time out of your schedule. So if you do not mind, we would like to take a brief moment to take some photos, and then we'll return back to the board business. Would that be okay?
That's absolutely great.
Okay, perfect.
One other thing that is just a real pleasure for us too is that we have a Michigan Advisory Council that helps us to think about what we do in the state of Michigan and bringing accreditation standards to life across our state. And we have added Dr. Zachary Ross as one of our members for Michigan.
Come join us board. You pick up our mask.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
So at this time, I know that we have a lot of outstanding community members, parents, educators here, staff members here joining us this evening. I want to make sure I recognize Congresswoman Dingle, who is here in the front row. We know that Congresswoman Dingle is a strong supporter of this community across the state. And she advocates on behalf of children. She advocates on behalf of educators all over and just people in this community and surrounding communities. And she is tireless and fearless. And we just thank her for joining us this evening. Congresswoman Dingle, would you like to come and join us to share a few words, please?
I just want to say I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the teachers and the students in the school system, and I am proud to represent you all. I think the Grizzlies are incredible. And we have a congressional record speaking about how proud we are of the school system and all that you do. And I love these kids. Thank you. School board meeting long. I just want to break. Get the board members up here so they can take a photo. Actually, I want to say those kids over there doing the Pledge of Allegiance do it better than most of my colleagues.
So we will keep it moving with other distinguished guests that are here with us. We have the president of Washtenaw Community College, Rose Blanca. And we also have Brandon Tucker. If you both could come up and join us at this time. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. I would like to congratulate you as well. And thank you for the partnership that we've been able to form over the years. And every year it just gets better. And to see your students on our college campus is just an honor that we are beholden to you. And Dr. Zachary Ross, you've brought so much energy to this school district. And thank you for being our partner. And I'd like to have Brandon say a few words.
You know, to everything she just said. Glad to be a partner. Thanks so much.
Rose and Brandon are being very humble. They are absolute partners, collaborators, advocates for this district, and they have been for many years. And so we are incredibly humble and grateful for your ongoing support. We thank you for all you do to support our young people in this district, and we're so glad you're here celebrating with us this evening. Do you mind both coming up for a photo? Thank you, everyone, for being so patient and giving us grace as we take these photos, and we thank those in our community who are such supporters of our district. I want to invite up a special person who has been, everyone knows who she is, because she has been in this community, a staple in this community for so many years. And she has been a champion not only for this district, but for the work in this community. So without further ado, I would love to invite Mayor Lois Richardson up at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. Good evening, everyone. And thank you for this opportunity that you are giving me to say congratulations to Dr. Zachary Ross, to all the staff, to the school board, to all that have worked very hard to earn this award. My heart was delighted when we were here in a joint meeting and Dr. Ross told us that it was coming forth. And it's just a pleasure for me to be able to be here with you tonight. And I am a strong supporter of YCS. And now that I will have some extra time on my hands, I'm going to even be a stronger supporter. I want to see this district be all that it can be. And I know that it can be all that much more than any of us have even begun to think or imagine that it could be. And Dr. Ross, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it can be. And so I would just invite everyone out here, don't just be here tonight, but support this district, support it there. They have done a fantastic job thus far, but there's so much more to look forward to. So thank you again. Congratulations.
Yep.
And if you need me, I'll be around.
We have two other guests that we would like to come up and say a few words. The next person we'd like to invite up is Jada Weatherspoon from Representative Peterson's office.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jada Weatherspoon. I currently work for State Representative Ronnie Peterson. He unfortunately could not make it here tonight, but he sent me to give you all this wonderful tribute. So Rep. Peterson, he absolutely speaks wonderfully of you all. He always said, Dr. Zach, call her, Dr. Zachary Ross, get a call with her. I'm like, okay, sir. I'm like, okay. So, but you guys are always there when we need you. When we call, you guys are always willing to meet. I mean, thank you to the board. Thank you to Dr. Zachary Ross, Dr. Lopez. You guys advocate more than ever for the YCS students and families. And so from Rep. Peterson, from our office, he wants to say thank you so much and congratulations. You all deserve this award. It is most definitely we're overjoyed to have present you with this tribute, but then also it's a given. I mean, you guys have earned it. You guys put in so much work for all the families, the staff, to you all. It's just well deserved. So we want to say congratulations.
Yes. Next, we'd like to invite up is our new dean at Eastern Michigan University in the College of Education, Dr. Ryan Gildersleeve. Please come join us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. I am new to the area, but immediately have been so impressed at the depth of the commitment and partnership between our College of Education and Ypsilanti Community Schools, led largely by Dr. Zachary Ross, who I had the opportunity to meet just a couple months ago. My personal commitment as the steward of the College of Education is to strengthen that commitment to each other and that collaboration and partnership. As we know, it takes all hands to support communities, particularly through these challenging times, through education, communities and schools, families and children. So thank you so much.
And next, we would like to invite up the WISD Superintendent, Naomi Norman. Please come join us.
No. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy. And I just have to say, as someone who's in education, this award is a really, really big deal. Cognio works with a lot of districts across this country, and to earn a system of distinction means you've put together the processes and created a system with great intention. And for a district that not that long ago had no systems because we were a brand new district, to be a system of distinction in less than 10 years is incredible. So I just want to punctuate what you've accomplished to all of you as a board, because you can't do it without all of your work and everyone else in this room, the community and all of the leaders here. So it's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
And I think this will be our last photo op of the evening. If I could have the last three speakers who came, Mayor Richardson, is she still here? Mayor Richardson, the Dean from the College of Education, Dr. Gildersleeve, and Naomi, if you could all please come back up. And for some closing remarks, final words, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you so much, Madam President. You know, this award, why it's so important for me as the superintendent is that it is the systems of distinction. And so that's why many of you were invited to be here. We have students who were interviewed during this process, parents who were interviewed during this process, our professional staff, our support staff, our Board of Education, our community partners. Everyone was a part of this process, and every one of you, that's why we had the reception, should join in on the acknowledgement that this is not something that the superintendent gets, the board gets. Yes, we're the ones taking pictures, yet we know clearly that this was when we talk about stronger together, this was it exemplified. This is where, if we have an outside person, we can say things all day long. We can talk about the things that we're doing internally. We know what's happening, amazing things. that are happening in the classroom, amazing things. As I see our union president over there, Charlotte Tillerson, thank you for being here, your support, for just all the work that you're doing. I know Amanda was here from the support union here, and all of the work for those persons who just go above and beyond. I see you too. Every single day. It's this work. It's the systems work. It's us when we're talking about the Stronger Together to outsiders and they just really don't seem to understand. This is what the reviewers took into consideration. This is what they heard when you saw us give the report out, when they talked about every single group that they spoke to. It was the same. We're one band, one sound. We came together, and it's with, I keep saying November, my just gratitude. I'm so grateful to be able to work in a district that truly believes about, we see you, we hear you, we value you, we respect you. And it's everybody. This is not a one-person show, a one group. It takes all of us. And I know that you go above and beyond. That's why I see you here today. I see you parents. I see you, our wonderful students. I see you teachers, support folks, administrators, our partners. This is what YCS, when you go other places, you don't feel it. You don't understand it. You feel so separated. But here, YCS, where you belong, is truly where you belong, and that we are stronger because of you. And so thank you. Even if this is the first meeting that you've been to, thank you. If you've been here with us a few months or a few years, or if you've been here the whole time, no matter what part you serve, each and every one of you are what makes us be able to say that we are a system of distinction. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of your hard work.
Next, that takes us to our points of pride. And this work, just to piggyback on what Dr. Zachary Ross just said, this work would not be possible. We wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for these amazing students that we have the pleasure to teach every single day, and their teachers who are here, and their administrators who are here every day. So this is what these moments are about. It's about all of you, not about us. So without further ado, I would like to invite the principal up and the students up for the points of pride for Ipsy Connected.
Hi, I'm Principal Ingram. We are Ipsy Connected Community School. We are K-8. We are the distance learning option for the district. And I'd like to introduce some of our students and staff.
Hello, my name is Joyce Scott and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Marley and my name is Tiffany and I'm in 2nd grade. My name is Juliana Overby. I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Samaya and I'm in 1st grade.
My name is Erin Anderson and I'm the PE teacher.
My name is Adina Hanrahan and I am 2nd grade teacher.
You want them? Do we read them? Okay.
Read them. All right, we will read the points of pride for Ipsy Connected. And After that, you all, I know it's late, our parents and our students are welcome to go, but we want to make sure before we move into the points of pride that we don't miss an opportunity to acknowledge all these wonderful parents who have joined us this evening. So parents, if you could please stand up and just be recognized. Trustee Townsend, can you start us off?
Absolutely. IPSI Connected is a unique learning environment that provides a safe place to learn for students who need a non-traditional setting to be successful. IPSI Connected is a safe and positive atmosphere online to aid in the success and celebration of students and their differences. We are a place for everyone. Acceptance of all learners. We understand students learn best when they are comfortable.
At IPSI Connected, we have the essentials to learning, relationships. We are devoted to giving our students a quality education and care about their emotional well-being. We strive to produce a community of learners, even though we are mostly virtual.
IPSI Connected prides itself on collaborating with our learning partners, families. Our live instruction format allows for a much closer working relationship among caregivers, teachers, and students. We are in their homes daily, which provides opportunities to interact, problem solve, and learn together about their child. This interaction allows us to be more effective in educating their child.
At IPSI Connected, we pride ourselves on providing personalized learning experiences. Students have a choice in selecting learning opportunities of interest to them. Our students are learning sign language, gaming design, coding, Spanish, art, and physical fitness. Our students are engaged in their learning process.
IPSI Connected is proud to model how blended learning can support students' academic success. We offer in-person learning opportunities at every grade level throughout the school year. Our in-person instruction is hands-on and project-based, which has included launching rockets, supporting the bee population, health and fitness activities, and field trips to a farm and the state capitol building.
At IPSI Connected, our middle grade students are participating in class discussions that encourage them to ask critical questions about issues going on all over the world today, while comparing these issues to what took place in the past. This supports the development and understanding of what it means to be a culturally responsive citizen.
IPSI Connected Community School is proud of the fact that we exist. We took what we learned during the pandemic to create an innovative learning option for the IPSI Connected community. We are in existence because a group of educators, community members, students, and caregivers voiced a need. We are so proud to be part of a school district that focuses on the need of the community. We are in our second year and could not be prouder.
And I just want to say thank you, Principal Ingram, I'll make sure I pronounce it correctly because names are important. Okay. And your staff who are here this evening and all the great work you do at IPSI Connected. And if your students could please stand up one more time to just be acknowledged. Great job, IPSI Connected. Next, that takes us to our first public comment portion for this evening. And before we invite our first community member up to say a few words, I would like to read the Board of Education policy on our public comment protocol, which reads as follows. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express their views. Please limit statements to 3 minutes in duration. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. No person may address or question board members individually, and all remarks shall be made in a respectful and professional manner. At this time, I would like to invite Donald Johnson up to the microphone to address the board.
Yes, I'm Donald Johnson. I live over in Hillcroft. I walked over here. I've got a question from Deborah Stevens on a discussion board, local discussion board. She wants to know that if you're using a contracting company to fill vacancies for paraeducators, and that they're being paid $3 to $6 more an hour than the YCS paraeducator employees. And I just want to know if that's true, or if I can find some more information about that and about the company that's being hired.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Are there any other public comment cards, Ms. Haynes, that have come in? Oh, thank you. Next, that takes us to our first presentation for this evening, and we have two. Our Head Start training presentation is first, followed by talent management. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you so much, Madam President. We know with all of our federal and state programs and policies, we make sure that we are within our federal and state guidelines. We have with us our Head Start Director and Principal of Beatty Elementary Early Learning Center, Erin Bradley, here to present for us today our Head Start training.
Good evening, everyone. I am Erin Bradley. I'm the Head Start Director, and I am going to share some information with you today about Head Start. I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible, but I also like to open up the floor for some questions at the end as well. So as Dr. Zachary Ross said, we are required to stay within federal regulations. One of the performance standards from the Office of Head Start is that we provide appropriate training and technical assistance to our board members. When Dr. Zachary Ross and I were reflecting on Head Start, we thought now would be a great time, even though none of you are really new. I'm sort of new to my position, so we thought it'd be an appropriate time to do this training for all of our board members. So part of that training has to include information about eligibility, and I will be sharing that information with you today. And again, I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page, that this is not necessarily because you're new, but because I'm new, and we wanted to make sure we were kind of checking our box for us. So this presentation should provide you with some overview of like the structure of Head Start, basic information about the mission and the purpose of Head Start, and just a few updates about our YCS Head Start program. Dr. Zachary Ross talked about some of the wonderful things that we're doing in the district, and Head Start is not excluded from those wonderful things for sure. So we promote school readiness for all of our at-risk students and their families. That's what's really important, that we provide those skills for the students and their families. Not only do we enhance the cognitive, the social, the emotional development of students, we provide that whole child, that wraparound support for families as well. A little bit of the history of Head Start. Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964 declared his war on poverty. And so Sergeant Shriver, Dr. Robert Cook, and Dr. Edward Ziegler were part of a coalition that developed a comprehensive plan for how we were going to meet the needs of at-risk children in our communities. It actually began as an 8-week summer program in 1964 and 1965, and it was so successful that by the fall of 1965, it was a year-round program. Interestingly enough, one of the beginning tenets of Head Start was family involvement and also serving communities in a culturally responsive way. So you can see how that really fits in what we do with what we do here at YCS. To date, Head Start has served over 30 million children in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and all US territories, also including American Indian, Alaska Native, and migrant and seasonal communities as well. So the Office of Head Start is within the Administration for Children and Families, and that is within the Department of Health and Human Services, which is, of course, has oversight from the White House. But the Office of Head Start provides oversight to different regional offices, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then the regional offices provide oversight to the grant recipients. So Washtenaw Intermediate School District is actually the grant recipient for this county, and we are sub-recipients to that. So we have oversight from the ISD as well as from YCS administration. We again are part of Region 5, which includes Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Our regional office is in Chicago. This is the Head Start Management Systems wheel. It's pretty, there's a lot of information there, right? But what you can see is at the center of everything we do is outcomes for children and families. Every decision we make, we're deciding based on what's most important for our children and for our families. That is then supported by all of different systems that we have in place. So SIA, which is eligibility, recruitment, selection, enrollment, attendance, our facilities, our transportation, our performance management, all of those systems support outcomes for children and families. And then as a program, we're supported by the leadership and governance of the district, including yourselves. So at Head Start in YCS, we provide services to children who are 3 to 5 years old. We are funded for 306 3 to 5 year olds. Currently, we have 273 students enrolled. This is as of October 31st. So there have been a few changes since then, but we run those reports at the last day of every month. We have 25 students who in our system are listed as accepted, which means that they have a seat. We have communicated with the families know that their children have a seat, but perhaps they're waiting on a birth certificate or an immunization record, things like that. And our family service specialists are working with those families to get them enrolled, but those children are guaranteed a seat in our program. And then we, as of October 31st, have 8 vacancies. I do know that most of those have been filled in our selection that we have every Tuesday. We also have a wait list of 11 3-year-olds and 61 4-year-olds in our system. And you might be wondering, why do we have vacancies if we have a wait list? Really what that boils down to is sometimes families, for example, they have older children at Ford or Perry, and they don't want to go to Beatty for their preschooler because it's just easier for families, which is of course what we always want to make sure we're supporting families, right? And so perhaps there's a wait list at Perry and we have openings at Beatty or vice versa, things like that. We also have 15 students with IEPs and about 25 additional students with open concerns. So they're in the process of being evaluated for special education services. We are required to have 10% of our full funded enrollment be children with disabilities. So you are our governing board and you provide oversight to us, including making sure that we're spending federal funds appropriately. You actively participate in planning and strategic direction of the program. Vice President Lee attends our policy council meetings and helps to support our program through different activities as well. At YCS, you are a publicly elected board, but in some instances, the governing board of Head Start programs are actually appointed positions or hired positions. And then there's different qualifications that have to come along with that piece. So our policy committee has representatives from Beatty, Ford, and Perry at it, and they are also involved in the decision-making of the program. They provide lots of feedback to our program about different activities, different things that are going on, and they also provide input on our hiring process for all of our new staff. The great thing about policy committee is that it really helps parents foster their leadership and their advocacy skills for their children. We had one of our staff members at our last meeting share that she actually started out as a Head Start parent 20 years ago, and now she's one of our family service staff, one of our lead family service staff. So we like to have those opportunities for our families. We recently elected a new board for that. Miss Chloe Jackson has a 4-year-old at Ford, and she is our chairperson. Miss Tiffany Peterson has a 4-year-old and 2 first graders at Perry. She's our vice chair. And our secretary is Miss Tiana Harmon, who has a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old at Beatty. So you can see that we're well represented at all 3 of our buildings with our board. There's also a parent committee that happens at each of our sites, and they are offered different parenting topics, education topics related to fiscal management, and then they also help to plan building level activities. We're governed by kind of 2 sets of rules. First of all, the performance standards, which is like our Bible, so to speak. In 2016, those performance standards were revised. Previously, the performance standards said you have to do X, Y, and Z. Now they're very much outcomes focused. So they say we want children to accomplish X, Y, and Z. Now you give us a policy and a procedure and show us how you're going to do it. So it's really more about telling your story, which I think really fits really well with what we do at YCS about telling our story and making sure that our community knows what we're doing. And then we're also governed by the Outcomes Learning Framework, lovingly referred to in the Head Start world as ELOF, where the performance standards tell us exactly what we're supposed to accomplish. The learning outcomes learning framework shows us best practices for early childhood. So for example, what kind of a curriculum is most appropriate for Head Start children in our community? We do have a parent handbook that was sent to all families electronically and then shared with families who needed it in a paper version as well. Our goal for next year is to have that fully translated into Spanish and Arabic to better meet the needs of our families. So the PIR, the Program Information Report, is something that's submitted each August. That tells the whole story of our Head Start program. You can find a snapshot report on the Early Learning Outcomes website for Head Start. But essentially it talks about eligibility, enrollment, demographics, what services we provided, all sorts of things. It's really our way to tell our story. Some of our points of pride. We have been operating all of our programs face-to-face. That is a mandate from the Office of Head Start. At Beatty, we had our first ever Health Expo at the end of August that was open to all of our students and families at YCS preschool programs. We did serve 38 children that day, and we thought that was a pretty good start. It was kind of not the greatest weather day, and it was our first event. We had the health department there. They were able to provide some immunizations to students. We're able to do some of our blood tests that needed to happen, had lots of different community resources. All the kids got Kona ice snow cones and helmets and all sorts of fun things for them. So that was really exciting. As part of our return to full enrollment plan, we've been trying to find really creative ways to hire staff. And I know Sue's going to talk a little bit about that in her presentation as well. But one of the things that I wanted to make sure I pointed out to you today was that we sent text messages to our parents. Head Start believes very firmly that we need to empower our families. So we invited all of our parents to apply for associate teacher positions in our program. At Beatty, we were able to hire 5 staff members, 4 of which who are Head Start parents, current parents, and there's actually an offer out to 1 more staff member that we're waiting to hear whether she's going to accept that position. As part of that partnership, then we collaborated with WCC to get those parents enrolled in the CDA program. So they'll be getting a free life skill that they can carry with them wherever they go. So that's been a really exciting opportunity for us. And that information has been shared all the way up to the national level. And they're really, really excited about that. They keep asking more and more questions. So that's something to be proud of for sure for YCS. And I just wanted to thank you because obviously without your support, we can't do the things that we do every day in early childhood. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Vice President Lee.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. As you know, we
Sure.
meet
Yep.
in our meeting back in October, we were trying to elect officers, and it was like cricket.
It's painful.
Yeah, it was painful. And I know you were stressing that parent participation was very important. Now, if you could not get parent participation, was it jeopardy of losing funds for the program or the program being canceled? The
No.
Head Start program?
No, one of the wonderful things about the way the Office of Head Start has been restructured since 2016, it's really about support. How can we support our staff? How can we support our programs? What else do you need? And so essentially what would have happened if we weren't able to elect our board and then therefore approve hires that come in, the Office of Head Start would have come in, offered us a training and technical assistance specialist, and would have worked with us to come up with a plan that generally involves professional development, different action steps, things like that. So the Office of Head Start really does not try to take away funding. They really do try to work with us. And coming from someone who's been in Head Start a really long time, that hasn't always been the case. So that's great to see how current leadership has really changed in the last few years, for sure.
And I have one more question, if you don't mind. Also, I know maybe I was thinking that reason the parents wasn't volunteering
that maybe it was because they had kids and they did not have, babysitters or childcare, they could not
Sure.
afford. So it was, hinder them for volunteering, you know. So
Absolutely.
was there like anything like you could do to help them out?
The performance standards actually allow for a stipend to be paid to parents when they are officers on the policy committee, as well as mileage. So that is something that is an option for us. I know that there are several programs across the country who provide childcare during their meetings. That's actually one of the reasons that we chose to keep our meetings virtual for this year, because it was a way for parents to stay in the home if that was what they chose to do. We do have a goal of having at least one face-to-face meeting just to sort of celebrate with the staff, with the parents at the end of the year, but we wanted to make things as little of a barrier as possible to parents. And then I would just like to say too, that we can have our meetings whenever we want. They could be in the evenings, they could be during the day. What our data showed us was that most of the children are in care at that time. And that is why we chose the meetings on the days that we chose them to be, because children are in care. Now for us, it turned out that it's not on a preschool Friday because the building meetings happen to be on preschool Fridays. So that would be something that we may want to reflect on for next year, but during the day tends to be better for our families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board questions?
I have one. So you said the eligibility requirements are on the website, correct?
Yep.
Now, is it, income-based?
Head Start is income-based.
Okay.
So families have to be at 100% of the poverty level, but there are also other qualifications that could help a student become categorically eligible is what we refer to it. So for example, a child who is homeless in foster care, has a disability, a diagnosed disability with an IEP or an IFSP, which is the 0 to 3-year-old plan. Those types of things provide categorical eligibility. And then there are other at-risk factors that give them eligibility points. So even when we have a child who perhaps has 0 income in their family, they're going to have higher priority points when we place students than perhaps a child who is living in a difficult neighborhood or has prenatal exposure to toxins, those types of things. And so then each Tuesday, our program staff go through and there's a report that we can run in our data system that nicely prioritizes those students for us. And we say, okay, we've got a 3-year-old opening at Beatty. This is a child who is most at risk in our community right now. That's the child who gets the placement. So we make sure that we're serving the most at-risk children and families at all times.
Okay, and so then otherwise, if they, I guess the starting age for school is 5, right?
Actually, legally, it's 6
6?
in the state of
Okay,
Michigan. Yeah.
okay. So then they would just go to Perry the normal way, Perry or Ford.
Yep.
Or, okay, all right, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Trustee Fields.
I just want to say kudos to the fact that you're involving the parents in that program and giving them an opportunity to have an opportunity to do some things that they probably wouldn't normally be able to do by reaching out to them that have students in the program as well. I say kudos to that because I think that is a big plus and probably help some parents financially doing something that they never thought. And then also giving them an opportunity to enroll in the CDA program at no cost, I'm assuming.
Yep,
That's
no
right.
cost to them.
So kudos to that. I just
Thank
think
you.
that's an awesome twist to that.
Thank
Head
you.
Start program.
It's definitely a tentative Head Start, and
Yeah.
I've been that parent myself, so I
Me
feel
too.
that.
So I'm just
So,
saying, so having that opportunity and being presented with that, especially if you're at home, you're not really doing anything, but you can go and still hang out with your kid and it's cool, things like that. I
For
like
sure.
that idea.
Thank you.
Just one more.
Oh, yes, Vice President Lee.
Just thank Ms. Jackson, Ms. Peterson, and Ms. Harmon for stepping up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will do. Yeah. Thank you.
Any
everyone.
other board questions? Thank you, Ms. Bradley.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you. And we know a part of your MASB framework has been to make sure that each year, this time of year, we bring in the talent management portion, which is human resources. We just call it our talent management. And Ms. McCarty will be talking about class sizes, staffing, and our enrollment. Where are we now? To this point in date, we understand count day, the actual data from it, the formalized data doesn't come until way after audits and all these. So we've got to remember that these are preliminary numbers. We get that through our audit, through our pupil accounting system, and through the Washington Intermediate School District. However, these are our power school numbers that we have up to today. It's not exact FTEs, that full-time enrollment. These are our numbers, butts and seats is what we call it. And so, Ms. McCarty, we thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Dr. Zachary Ross, and good evening, Madam President and members of the board. I am ready to show you some exciting student enrollment and staffing. It really is exciting to me, and I hope it's exciting to you as well. So we want to start out with wins. We have some wins this year, really big wins in a resource flat staffing environment. We were able to hire 67 new teachers. We were able to offer them a $1,000 stipend thanks to the SEEK grant that Dr. Coscarella got us. And then we also are able to offer those teachers a $2,500 bonus or a $1,500 bonus at the end of the year if they're effective or highly effective on their teacher evaluation. In addition, our EL enrollment is up by 73 students. That's a 2.1 increase from last year. We have K1 Spanish immersion. We had, if you remember last year, we had a kindergarten Spanish immersion, and we were able to add first grade Spanish immersion, and those classes are just overflowing. It's the response from parents and the community is phenomenal. And then we have newcomer classrooms. This is where if you come into the country and you do not speak English as your first language, we have these classes that help them to transition so that they're not struggling with the language barriers and then content and all of that. So these newcomers rooms are up and running. There's one at Estabrook and Ford. So I know you guys are used to seeing this human resource dashboard. And this dashboard is updated. It's something that Solomon put together for us, which he has repeatedly warned us might crash, but we're looking at the UKG that you approved to take over this role. But for right now, the dashboard tells us how many staff we have, where we're getting them from, and then also later in the presentation, it will tell us about retention. So right now, this is where our vacancies are. And I believe that Erin had talked about having some offers out there for her building, but right now we have the vacancies that you see on the board for the different buildings. This is early L through elementary, and then here is our second grade as well as YC2S. Student enrollment. We are actually plus 180. So the red arrows are down and the green arrows are up, but I want to do a little bit of qualification on Beatty, Ford, and Perry because we are getting that staff in place. And once we get that staff in place, we have 2 full classrooms we can fill at Beatty and Ford. And then we also have students on the wait list, as Erin indicated, that's going to actually increase that number. So what I did is very important to let you know that it's a point in time. I had to pick a point in time for you because as Alina's, Dr. Zachary Ross said, it's the audit's not here. So I picked a point in time of October 18th to do this data for you. And then Clark and I went over the data just at the beginning of the week to look at some numbers. So since we did that, I don't know if you can see that. There is 53 additional students from that point in time as of 11/4. So this is really, really exciting because a lot of people are down in enrollment and here we are, we're up. And then English language learners, I'm just showing you this slide to show you where they are located in the district and where those increases are. And once again, We have 11% EL population now, which is, as I said earlier, 2.1% increase from last year. And then these are the counts for Beatty, Ford, and Perry. And I easily see these going way up. And then I just brought for your attention and your review, the new negotiated class numbers. So the new negotiated classrooms, we had made some changes in the last contract, so I wanted to make sure that you were aware of where those were. And then recruitment. What are we doing for recruitment? Recruitment. So these are some of the things we're doing. This is just a tip of the iceberg. We have a talent management committee. We have a talent action committee. We have the SEAT grant that has allowed us to do some bonuses and stipends. LEAP grant, which has brought in all kinds of literacy things that have attracted staff that are interested in that area of instruction. We have our district website. We're using the EMU paraprofessional Grow Your Own. Proud Michigan Educators, and Proud Michigan Educators allows us, someone who's 5 years expired certificate, to grant teachers the sketches to renew their certification right away, and they can come right back into the classroom because their certifications are valid. We apply through the Michigan Department of Ed. If they approve it, we do the process through WISD because they are our sketch holder. They process them for us. We get the okay, certification is valid. We put a teacher in the classroom. We just placed a teacher in Perry in the Young Fives program using that program. Then we have our virtual career fairs, which have been really successful, you know, much more successful than the in-person this year. So we're just going to keep an eye on that data. And we do collect that data and I do share it with you, and I can bring it back up to let you guys know. Then we have YCS in district email because we want our staff to recommend people. That's a wonderful place to be. We want you to recommend people that you know. Then we post on MASA and all of its affiliates. They have so many affiliates, so it's a really good website to get things out there. And then we just discovered blackjobs.com, which gives us a courtesy to latinojobs.com. So we're posting on that, Facebook, Indeed, MARC. We have over 9 teachers in the MARC program. So this is beautiful. And they are really highly successful, and they get the 3 years, you know, mentoring from our program, 3 years mentoring from University of Michigan. So they have so much support, and I check on them regularly. They are doing very well out there. And this is mostly people who are in a second career. Teach for America, Teachers for Tomorrow, Handshake, which is the college, the universities websites, because they don't let us post like directly. We used to back in the day, as they say, be able to post right on their boards. So when we get the links from the colleges that say post on EMU, you know, jobs, it goes right to Handshake. So we'll just keep posting on Handshake. And then we use Frontline, and that's where we get a lot of our applicants, and that's where our principals work hard all summer long to interview candidates, get them to HR. We're processing those even in July when they're not working. They bring all of those applicants to me. And then Michigan Works. We've started a campaign with Michigan Works where we're going to be there. We wanted to be there bi-monthly, and they told us that it would be too much. So we're going to just keep doing it anyway. So we're just doing it anyway. And we had our first one on November 3rd. And then here's some of the retention and recognition things that we're doing. I know I mentioned some of them already. We have the stipends afforded to us by the SEAT grant, professional development galore. And that's amazing because you never, once you get into this district certified, you never have to pay another dollar to renew your certificate. We offer that much professional development. And then the mentoring program. We've really expanded this mentoring program. We have it in cohorts, we have tiers, now we have the 3 years separated from year 1 and 2, because 3 years told us that it was kind of repetitive for them and they wanted more. So we split 3 years out. Each cohort has facilitators, one-on-one. It's a really extensive program. Then the Sunshine Committee activities, I absolutely love these. You guys have seen many of them through Raymond Alvarado, but other buildings are doing these same things. And then Raymond wants us to go back to Grizzly Awards ceremony. It was really great. So I thought it was really fun, and I think we can do that again, hopefully. And then we have learning focus partners where the administrators are partnered with the central office are partnered with the building administrators to help support. And I meet with them weekly. And we try to get in, what are your needs? What do you, just to give them support, to keep them, to retain, just to keep things up there. And then curriculum support, Dr. Lopez has so much curriculum support. So he does that. And then we have instructional and culture and climate coaches in each building. This is especially important for the new teachers so that they are not struggling with our curriculum. They're not struggling with classroom management, or if they are in any way, they have someone to go to. And then we have incentives. We're currently working on an employee referral plan. We don't have that all fleshed out yet, so I can't announce it yet, but we are working on that right now. And then we have attendance at the community events. Here's the statistics for retention that I referred to from that dashboard that technology helps us with. Right now, we currently had at the October 18th mark, a 94.74% retention of the staff that we've hired so far. What questions might you have?
Thank you, Ms. McCarty. I just have one quick question. I don't know if you can answer it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. With several vacancies across the district in for our school social workers,
Yes.
how are those compliance issues that might come up because we have so many vacancies being addressed? And I'm not saying that they're not being addressed because I believe that they are. I'm just wondering because I was looking at the sheet and I saw so many vacancies, but do we have a plan to address those?
Yes, well, with special education department, we're
Yes.
currently working with Ruth Jordan for compensatory services if need be.
Okay.
What we're really striving is to get the social workers. We were able to hire one more is on, so we're just striving to get those
Okay.
individuals in place, and then we'll have to do any kind of compensatory services that are necessary in the summer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Board questions, go ahead. Trustee Gaisley.
Yeah, thanks. Ms. McCarty, I really, I know how hard you have been working, and I know that it's a really difficult atmosphere for us to, keep and retain teachers. And so, thankful for the SEEK grant, everything. I am wondering specifically about, we had some wonderful university partners here today, and there's a, crop of December graduates that is heading off. And so I'm curious whether we've been able to work directly perhaps with our new friend Dean Gildersleeve, or with, maybe we know a social work professor to, make sure that this opportunity, just, throwing that out there. But, can we, sometimes if we can work with professors, they can get that message directly to their students. Here's an opportunity right here in a community that you're familiar with to, try and fill those vacancies, at the new year. So I'm just
Absolutely.
curious whether you have tried that.
We had set that up with an administrator, and we are going to continue that. So we're trying to get the administrators into those classrooms to be speakers, as well as U of M and EMU will give me a list of their graduates. So we get the list of graduates and we send out all these. We are so excited that you're graduating. We would love you to be a part of our team. And we send that welcome out and we extend that out to them. And we honestly do get replies from that. So I'm hoping to get those December lists. Keep your fingers
They've just
crossed.
had a transition, as you see a new dean,
Yeah.
prior to that, that's what she meant. I don't want the
Yeah,
whoever. the
that's
new-
what I meant.
but
That's what I
prior to
meant.
That we would have, and even with the social work students, when they come in the district, we make them, we do a presentation. Student teachers, we do the presentation. Last year, we hired how many in December?
Oh my gosh, at least 15,
Yeah.
at least
Ms.
or more.
LaRose, who has
Mhm.
the program, she has students both at Estabrook and at Holmes. And so as they are at those buildings, she is like our personal person who just goes out and ensures that. So we were able to hire those people in those buildings specifically because of that good relationship. It's some of the other ones who had, when they had the transition of staff members, that we don't have the full list of the graduates. And so for the ones, that's why we like having the methods courses here, why we like having Professor LaRose here, because it's that personal, like she allows us to talk to the students. We go into the classrooms over there. And so as I know with Dean Gildersleeve being new, that's, he is bringing us with the staff again, who are, because the person over student teaching also transitioned this past year. So once we get that partnership tight again, I'm believing that will be a great, because that's been a wonderful source for us.
It really has. And we even have a speech and language person who's working with her professors. She's bringing the interns in and she's also working with the professors to get them to send. So our staff is out there recruiting too, directly through that professor link that you're referencing.
That's great. So I have a question. I see we have information in regards to staff that was just hired and how many is left. But I would be interested in knowing what the data is for existing staff as far as the people that are leaving, and what is the exit interview process and how is that data collected, so that we can see what things we may need to work on.
Absolutely. So I do an exit interview for everybody who does leave. Recently, I upgraded it to a Google survey. So when they answer the questions, I can input them in the Google survey so I can give you better data. Prior to that was written questions and answers. And the data that we're receiving right now is mainly financial. People are leaving for financial.
Okay. So
reasons.
is there a system that we can use? Because sometimes, I mean, I understand the Google process, but like, for instance, in a lot of companies that you may need, there's a more confidential process into that, to where people may be a little bit more, it can't, I understand financial is a big part of it, but you know, we want to just make sure that there's nothing else beyond the financial.
Absolutely.
That we might be missing.
And that's part of that UKG program that we're working with to get up and running. It's just taking longer on the company's end. The district's ready. So they're going to do that, as well as
The audit.
as well.
So we're
I
having
was
that
going
third
there.
party, go ahead, the third party audit. She does the individual, that's what she was saying. She does the individual, because the leaving out as people leave once a year, but to do the whole thing is through the UKG. So they do that third party external with the confidential survey. So that's a broader, but individually, she does the extra interviews, as well as now trying to give them, because some people don't even come in to do them. So we're like, we want to get some data. So if we have that and the survey, and the nice part is now we're having the third party, Battelle, who is an internet, I don't know, I'm talking.
No, you're good. You're
I
good.
get all excited about.
No, go
Because
ahead.
we love third party, because we can tell you, but they came and they are looking at all of our auditing systems under talent management. They're interviewing people, not with us. It's confidential. We won't know who it is. We'll get a report. And so that's what they are doing, is looking at our system, saying, what's happening? What could we do? What could we not do? And they look at our website. They do a full on-site audit of talent management. And that's the process that we've been putting in the board update, the Battelle. That's what that Battelle means. That is what we're being audited, so that we're not just guessing at, hey, what do you do for schools? They have been in schools, I don't know, Dr. Cascarella, how many years? Like, this is their business to audit the HR process. So we definitely are saying, we don't have all those answers. We go to all the seminars, and every talent management one says the same thing, like all of the retention, and like, okay, can you give us a new idea? So we agree with you that we need that third party piece to say what pieces are missing, and they'll make that recommendation to us.
They said about 6 weeks, and they spent a good couple of days interviewing staff throughout the district in later October. So I'm looking forward to getting that, as well as on November 9th and 10th, we're going to the teacher retention redesign in Dearborn. To just try to get that data. I know what you're saying. This is a straight exit interview will probably not give us all of the things we need.
Right, and so are you saying that these two systems will also be survey systems just for existing staff as a whole?
No, they're gonna be more of a, like a comprehensive system. So they're gonna tell us where we're getting staff, how we're getting staff, the reasons that the staff is exiting, as well as it's an electronic onboarding system. So then we'll start to be able to get, instead of a paper, we're transitioning over to an electronic onboarding system. So that's gonna gather data for us as well.
So that's the UKG.
That's
That's the
UKG.
UKG system.
Mhm.
The Patel is the outside auditing system. And we're able to do all this through through the SEEK grant, not through our general fund dollars. Thank goodness we're able to. Otherwise, a district our size really couldn't afford to do something outside. We're able to do that. And then I know you asked about the dashboard. It does up all year. So every week when you guys as board, you get the dashboard, it updates. So you'll see the transition. So if we go back, we just pull June, it said where we were at June and July. It showed how many was retained. So this dashboard, when she has it every week, it like keeps up. You'll see this is this month, it'll go next month, every month you'll see how many people are staying and retaining. So we could just pull up July. And then you'll be able to see the percentage that you asked about.
I just have one follow-up question to that. Do either of these systems have the ability to do like a satisfaction survey throughout the year? Or do we already have that?
We don't. We're working on a stay interview. We
Okay,
want those stay interviews, and we haven't fully developed all the questions. That's what the Talent Action Committee is going to do, is to develop that stay interview and to redesign some of the support union evaluations. Yes, because we want to know why. If you've been here for 20 years, why? Because maybe we can duplicate that.
yeah.
And if we can duplicate that and fractal it out, I mean, we could really have something there. So we really we're doing that as well. We have a lot of balls in the air in talent management.
Yeah. Any other board questions? Thank you, Ms. McCarty.
Thank you.
For sharing the win. That's very good news, especially when, things are a little bit unsettled in terms of the employment market, and to know that we've been able to hire so many teachers is certainly something to highlight and something to talk about. So thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for the support.
Next, that takes us to the consent agenda. And at this time, is there a motion?
Madam President, Trustee Gainsley, I move that the Board of Education approve the October 10, 2022 board meeting minutes and personnel matters as per the presented list dated 10/26/22, new hires, resignations, and retirements.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Gainsley. Is there support for this motion?
Support. Vice President Lee.
Motion made by Trustee Gainsley, supported by Vice President Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to item 8, a request for a closed session to consider the content of an application for employment. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, this is Trustee Goodrich. I move that the Board of Education go into closed session pursuant to Section 8F of the Open Meetings Act to review and consider the content of an application for employment.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Goodrich. Is there support for this motion?
Support, Trustee Gainsley.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Gainsley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Will we convene in another room, or will we? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we will go into closed session in another room for the public, and we'll come back to this room, back to open session once we are done with our closed session.
And the time is.
The time is 7:48. Well, my phone says 7:50.
Okay.
Everybody good?
Yep.
The time is 8:27 PM and the Board of Education is back in open session. The next item on our agenda for this evening is our action item under Human Resources, and that is a new hire approval of employment. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, this is trustee Schindler. I move that the Board of Education approve the district's employment request.
Thank you. A motion has been made by trustee Schindler. Is there support for this motion?
Support trustee Goodrich.
Supported by trustee Goodrich. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Welcome to our new employee. The next item on our agenda is the consideration of revisions to the superintendent contract. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, this is trustee Schindler. I move that the Board of Education approve the revisions to the superintendent contract.
A motion has been made by trustee Schindler. Is there support for this motion?
Madam President, Vice President Lee, support.
Supported by Vice President Lee. Any discussion on this item?
Madam President, I wonder if you could just, summarize the changes for us.
Yes, so the Personnel Subcommittee met, on a couple of occasions. The first, reason that we met was to address, as I'll just remind the whole board and those who are here, there was an insurance matter that we had to settle because the superintendent was not, receiving the adequate amount of insurance, per as laid out in the contract. So the subcommittee met and, we had a couple of meetings and we were able to get that issue rectified. And then the second item before this subcommittee was to, make sure that we reviewed some of the revisions that were proposed to the subcommittee regarding revising the superintendent's contract, specifically the evaluation date, longevity, and a retention bonus. Now that the superintendent has been with us for longer than 3 years, having some of these items looked at and revised seemed timely, especially considering the climate and what has happened as a result of the pandemic. We wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to update the contract to support the work of the superintendent and to make sure that we had these 3 areas addressed. Any other details I could share that would be helpful?
No, I appreciate the summary and I know that we've received a number of communications about this, so I
Yes.
appreciate your transparency and all the work that's gone into this process.
Thank you. Any other questions or feedback at this time from the board? I know you all have received a lot of communication about this and have read through a number of things, but I want to make sure there's an opportunity to ask questions or offer any feedback if you have any at this time. Okay.
I was just gonna say, I think, as I recall, this, I was a member of the committee, so I've been part of all of this, but, I mean, this not only, helps us, retain Dr. Zachary Ross, but it puts us, and it writes her contract, for the insurance matter that was not correct, and not addressed for several years. But it also really brings us in line with other districts in terms of what we're doing to compensate Dr. Zachary Ross, and it's essential that we stay on top of that. So I think it's a very important move.
Thank you, trustee Schindler. Any other comments?
I think just if I might add to that, it was clear that the committee put a lot of thought into longevity and retention. And I know that, when this first contract came out, 4 years ago, and Dr. Zachary Ross was a new superintendent here, and just the She has really shown over that amount of time, the incredible progress that you can make when you have someone who is committed to this role and to this district in the long term. And, you know, our Cognia celebration tonight was, you know, an incredible testament to that. But of course, there have been amazing milestones along the way. So I just deeply appreciate your service, Dr. Zachary Ross, and I, you know, appreciate the committees working hard to build that stability into the contract.
Thank you. Other board comments? And I just want to thank Trustee Schindler. I want to thank Vice President Lee and we all served on the subcommittee to review the proposal that was before us and to ask questions and to work on how, you know, we could look at and see where we were, you know, not post, I keep saying post, but we're still in the pandemic. But we do know that even when Dr. Zachary Ross got here, we were very thoughtful and intentional about securing a long-term contract because we knew the district needed that stability and that consistency. And now that Dr. Zachary Ross has been here, we can all, you know, around this table, I think all of us could go around and say a number of things about how grateful we are for the hard work, for the leadership that she has brought to this district and to this community to move this district forward. And it seemed the timing was right to be able to look at those three areas specifically because our superintendent works hard and she deserves everything that she, you know, she wants in terms of, I mean, that want sound like, you know, the moon and the, you know, stars and all of that. I don't mean it in that way, but I do mean that if there are things that we can do and being good stewards of the district's resources and to work within the resources that we have to acknowledge that hard work, the board absolutely wants to make sure that we do that. And so this does not have any negative budget implications. We do know that it's important though to not just say, you're so great, you're so wonderful, you do such a great job. That needs to also be solidified in what your contract also shows you so that you feel valued, respected, seen and heard. Any other board comments? So I'll summarize. Motion was made by Trustee Schindler, supported by Vice President Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to business and finance, action item number 11, and that is the Great Start Readiness Program GSRP contract for the 2022-2023 year. At this time, is there a motion?
Madam President, Trustee Townsend move that the Board of Education accepts the Great Start Readiness Program contract for 2022 to 2023.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Townsend. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Schindler, support.
Supported by Trustee Schindler. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to the adoption of the summer tax resolution for the 2023 tax year. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, Trustee Fields move that the Board of Education adopt the summer tax resolution to impose a summer tax levy to collect 100% of annual school property taxes, including debt service.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Fields. Is there support for this motion?
Support Trustee Gainsley.
Supported by Trustee Gaisley. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Madam President, could you just give us a little, just a summary about this, just so that the public can hear?
Oh, yes. So, and I'll just read the language that's right in our packet here. This is a standard resolution. We approve this annually in order for us to collect taxes during the summer. This adopted resolution must be filed with the city and the township within the YCS boundaries on or before December 31st of every year. So December 31st of 2022 for this year. And currently we have a summer tax levy of 100%. And it is recommended that we continue with this authorization for the 2023 tax year. It supports the ongoing resolution of imposing a 100% summer tax levy. So this is an annual approval, not an increase, but it has to come before the board every year in order for it to be, collected, we have to have this approved before December 31st. Dr. Zachary Ross, would you add anything?
You have it. I think that is a question that people ask is, is this gonna be an increase? What does 100% means? It just tells, it goes to tell the county, yes, the board has seen this. Yes, the board is saying that we definitely want to collect the summer taxes. So it gives the whole resolution here of not only the fact that they're gonna collect, who's the designee, and ensuring that the county knows that this board has designated the superintendent or our business office too. It gives that designation. That piece is really important to communicate. And that tells them who is the person, because we've seen, we've had less money coming in. And so oftentimes there's accommodations for that, and that works specifically with that designee. And so that it seems small for that second paragraph, but it really is important that they work hand in hand with someone in the district. And so that also is that authority that you're giving by doing this yearly resolution. It gives the designee to who that county is working with.
Other questions? Does that answer your question, Trustee Townsend?
Yes.
Are there other questions or any discussion on the summer tax levy? Seeing none, Trustee Fields made a motion. It was supported by Trustee Gainsleigh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of the Explorer Club at Chapel leases. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President. Trustee Fields, move that the Board of Education accept the Explorer Club at Chapel leases.
Thank you. A motion was made by Trustee Fields. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Schindler, support.
Supported by Trustee Schindler. Any discussion on this item? I know that we have someone here who could maybe come up and speak to the leases. That would be great to give the board some additional context before we vote.
Thank you. And this is how we're using also rising leaders throughout the district beyond classrooms. People always see that we're doing this work with classroom teachers and building principals, but even within our own unit, we've got others who are just continuing. So thank you for your leadership.
Hi, my name is John Birchwell. I'm one of the maintenance guys. And Aaron asked me to just let you guys know about the leases tonight for room 126, 128, and 118 over at Chapel. The leases at 126 and 128 rooms is the Explorer Club. And these are going to be using the templates for the boilerplate. Approval by the Board of Education. The leases are scheduled to begin November 1st this year. The rent starts at $8 and gradually go up from 8 to 9 to currently tops out $10 a square foot. The Explorer Club is a place where kids can come and learn and grow and build self-esteem in a semi-private and fun environment. Many of the youth and young adults are nervous to join their peers in athletic and sports venue due to their own perception and self-image and weight and strength and abilities. And then on the lease for room 118 is a current tenant for our house, expanding the footprint at Chapel through the lease. This lease is scheduled to begin November 1st. And the mission for our house is a Washtenaw County nonprofit is to help young people ages 14 to 25 to transition from foster care to adulthood. Their vision is that they become self-sufficient and can live independently life with confidence. And if you guys have any questions, I got a little bit of information if you need it.
Thank you, Mr. Birchwell.
Yep. Birchwell.
Okay. Thank you for even giving us the background on the leases. And these are just our standard leases, that we have for all of our tenants. And these are 2 new tenants who are coming on board.
One new tenant and then the
A
other
renewal?
existing out the tenant.
Existing,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much for presenting to us. Board, do you have any questions for Mr. Birchwell? Yes, Vice President Lee.
So our house, is it the one that's new?
No,
That's the existing.
the Explorer Club Fitness is the new one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're taking up 2 rooms.
And that's the one that they come in and they can exercise and,
Yep, the fitness group.
so what kind of equipment would be in the room?
I have to talk to Mr. Rose about that. He can get back to you.
Okay.
Maybe he can answer that question. I'll tell him you have that. That's a
Okay.
good question. So.
Any other board questions? Thank you, Mr. Birchwell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was that motion, trustee Fields, you made that motion, correct? Who supported?
Schindler.
Thank you. So a motion was made by trustee Fields, supported by trustee Schindler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to our second public comment portion for this evening.
Oh,
Miss,
No, we have another.
the our house.
oh, yes, because he presented on both, but then we have the two, yes. Thank you so much. Next, we have the acceptance of our house lease, which was just presented by Mr. Birchwell. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, trustee Schindler, I move that the Board of Education accept the our house lease.
Thank you. A motion has been made by trustee Schindler. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Goodrich, support.
Supported by trustee Goodrich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Now that takes us to our second public comment portion for this evening. Ms. Haynes, have any public comment cards come in? Okay, thank you, Ms. Haynes. Next, that takes us to board superintendent comments. Are there any comments at this time from the board?
Madam President, I have a couple.
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to report back, on behalf of the Community Relations Subcommittee. I got to represent our subcommittee on the latest round of interviews for the communications and marketing position. We concluded that round of interviews last week. I just want to say thanks again to the talent management team for bringing us these candidates. And I look forward to seeing what happens in the next round. Also, I just want to express gratitude to the district for the support of our professional development as board members and the opportunity to attend the MASB Annual Leadership Conference. It was great to have a community of our members there learning together, along with representatives from boards all over the state. And when we talk to folks in other districts about our superintendent, when they come up to us and talk to us about our superintendent, it's clear why it's so important that we have this mutual commitment to one another. And I'm really glad that we were able to approve the contract modifications tonight. Also, I know we have a responsibility to share out our professional learning. I had the chance to finish my data skills certification, and I'm really looking forward to using that information to follow up on some of the data conversations that we had as a board during our retreat this past summer. And I'm super happy to share out notes and geek out about data with anybody who wants to talk.
Yes, I would love to see it. Anything else, trustee Goodrich?
No, that is all. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you for that update. Other board comments? Yes, Vice President Lee.
I just wanted to say I attended the Head Start meeting, one in October, the 21st, and one on November the 4th. And what Ms. Bradley presented to us today is what we really saw at the meeting. So I really don't have much more to add.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to our next one in December, and I will come back and report on that one.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Lee.
Thank you.
Yes, trustee Schindler.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to say congratulations to the district and to Dr. Zachary Ross and our administration and everyone for the award of distinction today and all of the other awards that came and recognitions that came along with it today.
Yeah.
It's just been tremendous to watch and to be a part of in any way. And I have been, as many people here have been involved with the district for longer than I have, but I've been a parent and volunteer with some aspect of Ypsilanti schools in various incarnations since 2000. And it's always been like, oh, there's so much potential. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's all going to come together. There's so much potential. And I feel like it's really happening, and it's just joyful to be part of and to watch. So thank you.
Thank you, trustee Schindler. Yes. Trustee Field.
Well, one or two things. Well, the first thing is that I enjoyed the conference a couple weeks ago with all the other board attendees who went as well. It was a nice comfort, long drive, but it was nice. It was nice. So second, I just want to bring up something that was brought to my attention, or someone reached out from United Way. And we just wanted to put that on the table as far as United Way being a part of YCS being a part of United Way. They said they've reached out a couple of times and they really haven't had any kind of feedback or any kind of response back. So I just want to put that out to find out, and I said I will bring it up and mention it at our next board meeting. So that's what I'm doing, just to find out where we are with that and if we still have that engagement and that connection with United Way, and just to put that out there. So that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, trustee Field. Trustee Gaisley.
Sure. Thank you. It's been a while since we've met, so I think I've got more updates than usual. But just to share, I appreciate trustee Townsend joined me at the YCSF meet and greet, as well as trustee Goodrich joined the YCSF meet and greet, which was on the evening downtown, alongside Halloween downtown and Ipsy Glow. So just a fun night downtown, spending, and we ran out of 50 donuts in about 15 minutes. So we had probably 150 people come through and learn more about the Ypsilanti Community Schools Foundation. I believe those mini grant applications I think closed this week. And we're still continuing to fundraise around Giving Tuesday around supporting those mini grants for teachers so that we can help get exciting projects into our classrooms. The second thing I wanted to mention, I also crashed a party at Ford Elementary where they were having their very first PTO meeting in quite a while. And so I was excited to sit through that, hear from quite a few parents. They had a great turnout, I thought, to have their first PTO meeting, and they're excited about getting that going. So just thrilled to support all of the PTOs and that level of parent engagement in all of our schools. And I think you'll be hearing from them. They're a very active group. And then finally, agree that I was really thrilled to be able to join several of you at the conference to share one of my big professional learning takeaways was that, wow, Kalamazoo County is doing some cool things with career and technical education. Wow. I know we probably don't have $100 million donor like they do, but it was really enlightening to see what career and technical education can look like to really prepare students for the 21st century. And it's just one of the conversations that I'll just bring to the forefront because we have so many opportunities. We have some really great programs, but there's so much opportunity out there to expand that. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, trustee Gaisley. Yes, trustee Townsend.
So just wanted to thank the district again for the opportunity to attend the MASB conference. We had a lot of training that was completed, several hours, 3-hour classes, and several hours. Thank you to trustee Gaisley for the invitation for Ipsy Glow and the costumes and costume contest that we had to do. It was very exciting. I do look forward to attending the middle school's football teams banquet, I believe, this Thursday. So that will be exciting, as well as ACE's event, Thanksgiving event coming up in November, later in the month on the 22nd, I believe.
The luncheon.
So I'm excited about that. They've really been working hard on the culture and everything in the school. And I'm just excited to be invited. But other than that, November is November. So I'm just trying to get through it. Just need to get through it. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Townsend. Yes, Vice President Lee.
Trustee Phil, could you elaborate on United Way? They reached out to you about what?
Well, they reached out because I guess in the past that they used to, it was something for employees. They could make donations to have what is it called? Income, something of their paycheck or something.
Right, and that's stopped a few years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
but they reached out again, and they wanted to find out, because other schools are doing it, and they didn't say, it's not like it's a must, but I just know that they do a lot in the community as well, back to the schools, and she just reached out and just said she had reached out to a couple of different members here, and no one has ever responded.
They
Yes
just
or
met
no.
with Priya. I'll give you the email.
Yeah, you know what?
They
She
just
said
had a
Priya.
meeting.
She did say Priya.
Yeah,
She
we
said-
had some.
But she hasn't, but they haven't heard back. So they didn't know what was going on. So it'd just be nice to
They met in
somebody to
person.
reach out and say, hey, we're not doing it, or we're not, whatever the case may be. I don't think she's got a response. But again, the person, just to be clear, the person who's doing it now is her first year. So they may have reached out to somebody prior to that, but the person who's doing it now, this is her kind of like first year, so maybe there was something.
We met with
Don't know.
the director as auto superintendents, and then we met with her in person this year. So we'll get it.
Yeah,
We'll give her the
we'll get it.
information.
She just reached out to me and I said, hey, maybe, well, something will happen, and I thought I would just mention it, because that's not my thing. So,
Just need to clarify with her.
yeah.
Thank you. Any other board
Yes.
comments?
Oh, yeah, that wasn't my comment, but I was gonna say about the movie. We got the joint thing, we got a thing about. the movie on
Wakanda
Friday.
Forever. Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to say, that's awesome. I think that's a great opportunity for the district, a good look with the collaboration we're having, I guess it's with WCC. HBCU, their department or whatever,
The
but I just
HBCU
wanted to say, I
pathway.
just thought it was really nice that they were able to put something together like that for the students. I'm hoping many students will be able to take advantage of it, don't know how many, because we're in school, but, I just think that was a nice collaboration there and stuff like that, so I think that's a great opportunity and a good look for us as a district to be able to offer something like that to our students.
Thank you. Any other board comments? I just have a couple. I will try to make them super quick. Wanted to just give a little shout out to Ypsilanti Community Middle School. The end of October, they put on a play. The middle school students, they did a wonderful job. It was held in the cafeteria. I'm really excited that Pretty Brown Girls, the board will remember that we approved this contract a few months back. And they actually are going to start at Estabrook, at Holmes, and at Ypsilanti Community Middle School in the next couple of weeks. So all those materials have come in. I believe Dr. Pascarella shared a little bit of information about it, is very familiar with the Pretty Brown Girls program. But we're really, really excited that we have this program here in our district for our students. And it's open to all girls. And we're just excited. It's been a long time coming, because we've been talking about this program for several years now. And the fact that we're able to see it to fruition is really, really exciting. So I really look forward to see everything that will come out of that for our young students. Well, young students and middle school students, because 2 elementary and 1 middle school. So I look forward to updates that'll come before us. We have a district staff who is kind of the head, kind of the spearhead and the liaison to coordinate all the efforts. So I just look forward to hearing updates about how that program is going for our girls who are signing up for that in the district. And I just want to say thank you to Dr. Zachary Ross, the entire district, the leadership, the teachers, the staff, the cognitive, this recognition tonight. We've all said it, we've all seen it. This is the kind of press that we want to make sure we have about YCS. Often we're reactive to stories, and this is a proactive way to kind of talk about what the YCS district is doing. When you're not in our buildings on a day-to-day basis, when you don't see what things are happening firsthand, it's hard to know how much good work is happening, because you're listening to maybe voices of people who are not right there seeing it on a day-to-day basis. I'm fortunate to be in the middle school 2 days a week to see the good work that's happening at our middle school. And I'm fortunate to be part of this community and this district, and fortunate that you are our leader, and you have so many amazing leaders who collaborate with you every single day, teachers, staff, and especially the benefits that our students yield from the great leadership and all the good work that is happening in this community and in this district. these three people sitting next to me have done an amazing job running a stellar campaign. And tomorrow is the day. So I just want to, I know they are tired, yes. It has all led up to this moment, so I hope everyone has either voted or plans to vote. But our incumbents, I wish them well. And I wish them lots of rest after tomorrow. You're welcome. Dr. Zachary Ball.
Thank you so much. And thank you board and the community that's still here for your ongoing support. This is what it's about, really, everybody working together. And so I just, again, that the Cognia today was just amazing. We again want to reiterate that this is something that everybody can enjoy. You know, it's been wonderful. If you think about it, we've had 3 out of the 4 years we've been together. We've had Teacher of the Year and Peer Pro of the Year, Teacher of the Year for the county, Peer Pro of the Year for MDE, and that's those individuals. We can celebrate those folks. This, again, why it's so different is everybody. Dr. Lopez was typing out away with his documents. We're getting all each building network and the teachers that'll be a part of it and the students and the parents came. You all came out of your time, the administrators. This was that whole collective effort of Stronger Together, so that when we see this, it's not one person's name. This is truly something we can say. This is YCS. This is ours. And, you know, it's just like a team. When you have that championship thing together, all of us, the whole community should be proud about the work that, again, external, they go all over, not just the United States, but externally to say, you know, within looking at our system, not just the interviews, but fully going through the systems. You guys know accreditation, work at different places. That's a huge deal. So I just want to, again, thank everyone for the efforts and the work, because I think oftentimes our teachers, our parapros, our drivers, cooks, administrators don't really feel that love, right? When they say, "Can you feel me? Do you really understand?" And I hope that they see that, you know, the fruits, the work. This is the fruits of their labor. That people are really seeing it beyond just us. We can give accolades inside, but for external. And so I know that a press release is coming out from one of the capital city places from, they have a new name, but it used to be Middle Cities. They've sent out a press release to go out tonight. And there's like a load of press releases from this event that will go out past tonight. And so to everyone, congratulations. We got the logos. We're gonna put some banners up stuff that are around the schools, because this is certainly something to be proud of. We are accredited now for, what is it, 6 years now? 6 years. So yeah, that, you know, like just to be able to hold on to this and know for the 6 years and just to even get better. The best is still yet to come, and I appreciate that. Also, I appreciate the fact that there's several of you. Again, thank you to Dr. Lopez and Sue and Randy, who was here, who helped with writing the grant with Randy and Aaron and Priya and Hope and guy from Hoekstra for our 10 electric buses valued at $3.95 million. If you think about it, if you keep adding up, we're getting now at $30 million brought in the last 2 years to the district. In addition to what we're doing federally. And yes, there's specific things tied, everything with education is tied to it. However, the importance of the impact on children, as you were talking about. We already have our children in, updated buses. We were really excited about those, but these we get to have and keep, and it's just really just continues to just show, okay, we can do the work. We can really have our students to learn from these experiences. I'm thinking about how many lessons we can have about the buses, like we've done with the lighting and all these other projects. And so I'm really excited about that. Tomorrow, on the ballot, Thank you to our board members to serve. I tell people, just like you guys go to conferences and they talk about, oh, the superintendent, oh, they're wonderful administrator. I talk about this board all the time because we know, we watch board meetings. You could almost Google on YouTube and like have it as an entertainment. Because seriously, a lot of boards are not healthy. And there's this turmoil and there's fighting amongst each other, but then with the board and the superintendent, the board with administrators and the community, this board is such a pleasure to work with. So the three that are here, that I know tomorrow your name's on the ballot, I just know already that I believe that these people have already seen the work, you've already demonstrated the work. I just want to thank you for the service that you've offered, for the support that you've given to our students, that you keep the students first, the staff, the community, the families, and to me personally. I just want to thank you, and thank you for being willing to serve again. Truly, thank you. People don't, and these administrators, you got 2 previous superintendents here. We won't work. At this point, we've been doing it too long to work with a board. It is a pleasure to be able to work with you. And I just am glad to be able to publicly say it and to thank you for just your willingness to serve. It's thankless. You guys, thankless. You don't get anything for this, and you give so much of your time, your heart, your energy. So thank you for that. We have a wonderful tomorrow also is we take advantage of professional development. So there's PDs. I know I sent it to you. There are links. You can go, you're like, I read all of these links. Yes. What if you can remember when Dr. Yolanda Ruiz came? I talked with her and Jennifer Banks and said, wouldn't it be great? We had this big summit. I was hoping to be in person. We'll have workshops for students and for families and staff. And we couldn't do the in-person that quick. I had these ideas of grandeur, but they were like, we can still do it. We can't do that. We can still offer these breakouts. And the people that we're having, if you look at these authors, if you look at who we have, unbelievable. Nationwide, people are trying to get these folks, and we have them coming. And so you see the list of transportation, food, operations, everybody, our support, GSRP, everybody. So you can just click on any of them. I asked Dr. Lopez that we get it to Julie to send it back out just so it's on top of your emails. So you can, if you have a chance, I know you got a busy day tomorrow. If you have an opportunity just to pop in any of them, you are welcome to. I just want our community to know what high level professional development our staff are being able to participate in. So thank you, Dr. Lopez, for your work in that regard. And then lastly, there's some days this month that I did not put on our recognition. I just want to say, again, it's American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month. It's National Homeless Youth Awareness Month, and Ms. Allen, she has these buildings, do something and talk about it. And that's just highlighted here because we know we want to make people aware that there are still children in situations and we've got to take care of them. On November 7th through the 11th is National School Psychology Week, obviously Election Day. There's a National STEM Day, and we know our students do a wonderful job with STEM on the 8th. Veterans Day is the 11th. The 13th is World Kindness Day. And I know you always see it in the buildings, be the I in kind in all the elementaries. And so you'll see those pictures probably coming out. And that's the reason for that big day is the World Kindness Day is November 13th. November 16th is Educational Support Professionals Day. And so I normally would have said a doctor, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just wanted to say it once I pulled up my calendar. I'm late, but I at least what they say, charge it to your head, not your heart, and I at least can say something about it. So thank you to our educational support professionals. The 17th is National Parent Guardian Involvement Day, and we know we do a lot with NAPID, but also we have our foster grandparents in our buildings. And so we went, I did their keynote this summer when they came out, got to meet your beautiful mother. And I just thank them because we know, again, we talk about all the people that it takes to to run this district. But those foster grandparents are amazing. And then we go into Thanksgiving, and I know we've been just super, super thankful. As we're talking about Thanksgiving, our RCTC students are doing just amazing things. They had the opportunity to participate in Skills USA Michigan, the Fall Leadership Conference. And it was presented by the Skills USA Michigan State Officer Team. And we have one of our very own students who's a part of it, Michaela, and she represented well. And so because I know you said beyond sports, what can we do? Let's celebrate Michaela and the RCTC team. Then they on Saturday, 3 of them completed, and it says AFC, but that meant the American Federal Culinary, ACF, American Culinary Federation. I kept saying, what does that mean again? The American Culinary Federation, and all 3 of those earned a silver award. And so we're really proud of them. To the point where Michaela and Shamaya had to compete with college division because there were no high school competition there in that competition. So that made them very unique. And so they did well to be able to be college students with much more experience, and to receive that was wonderful. And then the chef also took silver in his professional level competition. So we are really proud of Chef Gardner as well for his awards. And if people are interested, they do a great job. They are taking orders for all kinds of sides and baked goods. Look, I sound like I'm selling stuff. But they have good, if you've not had something from them before, they package it up nice. They even tell you how to warm up your pie and how to warm up your rolls. So RCTC Culinary Arts, their pickup is November 22nd from 9 to 4. So that means you got to order before November 16th. No orders after November 16th. So it's on our website. They have a QR code. They have a little link. It's on the newsletter. Let's support these students, because when they do, the support goes to these programs when they're going out and all this additional things above and beyond that they're doing. And so we're just really proud of all of our students. I just want to highlight that program because they do have this going on to November 15th. I know the auto detailing, man, they did an amazing job on my car. If you didn't get your car detailed last week when they had that going on, our students are amazing. And so we just, again, I just love the fact that we had the students here at the beginning, to represent, but also to talk about students at the end. It reminds us of the why we do all of what we do. Okay.
Madam President,
Yes, Vice President Lee, go ahead.
I do have like 5 or 6 questions regarding the electric buses, but due to the time, I would like to email Dr. Zachary Ross, and she can answer them and send them out to the board and the public. Okay, if that's all right.
It is, because I probably don't know the answer, so I will get the answer. I don't have it at this time. I'll get you the answer.
Okay, I appreciate it because I want to be respectful of everybody's time because it's at 9 o'clock.
It is. Thank you, Vice President Lee.
Thank you.
And I'll just close by saying 2 quick things. I want to thank Trustee Gaisley for bringing to our attention that we will update information on our website, because we typically meet on the 2nd and 4th Mondays, but because we've had to make some adjustments to our board calendar, we need to make sure that's aligned and it's reflected so that it doesn't cause confusion for the public who want to attend our meeting. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. And then the other thing I just want to say is, I hope that everybody in this room, everybody around these tables has an outstanding, restful, grateful, joy-filled Thanksgiving holiday. Because we don't come back here until December. So enjoy it. And we'll be watching. the election. So, all right, the time is 9:10, well, 9:12. It's 12. Time is 9:12. This Board of Education meeting is adjourned. Do you want these back?
Oh, that one's
for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. Keep.
Did you shut it down?
People are coming to my.